Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you so much for dropping by. So, Arlyn and I went to a 5-star casino yesterday for research, okay? Research. And I'm going to tell you about our experience. Now, I want you to keep in mind, we honestly are not big gamblers. All right. I used to go to Vegas a lot and gamble a lot when I was younger. Okay. But this is not that type of a situation. So let's talk about it.
Why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, 'cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay. This is going to be the last of the issue where it comes to gambling, tourism, OFW, stuff like that, unless at some point we get some really more detailed information released by the Philippine Statistic Authority. That being said, I wanted to think to myself, hey, you know what? I don't know how much money changes hands in these casinos. And so I thought, how popular are they? Are they really as popular as it seems? And we have not been. All right. So let me preface that by saying this. Number one, all right, this is the most important part. We do not recommend gambling. And I want you to know that right offhand. We absolutely do not. But with that being said, I wanted to take a look. Arlyn said, fine, let's go. So we did. And with all of that, we went. It was a slow day, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. It was either Monday or Tuesday we went. And it was in the middle of the day. I think we were there for about 4 or 5 hours. We got there at like 1 o'clock, left about 5:30, something like that. All right. So what did we observe? What was it like? Where did we go? What idea? I wanted to see just how prevalent gambling was, how big of a crowd it was with the Koreans, because that's who primarily is there. And then secondarily, I wanted to compare, how is it with the regular folks? So I'll tell you a little bit about it. First off, we went to Hann Casino. Hann Casino is a quote unquote 5-star casino here in Angeles City, out on Clark in the free zone. Okay. It is there with the Marriott and everything else. Now, we will tell you there are multiple casinos. The Marriott has a casino, Whitus, Hann, Royce, all of those. And we do go to the casinos. We go to the casinos because of restaurants. They have some great restaurants. So it's not uncommon for us to enjoy Mother's Day. Not Mother's Day, but, birthday, Valentine's Day, stuff like that. They have some great restaurants. All right. Where have we been elsewhere? What are we comparing it to? Well, we've been to, used to go back when I first started coming to the Philippines, used to go to Resort World down in Pasay over by Naiya Airport, Manila metro area. I've been to Solar. I've been to City of Dreams. Okay. I've never been to Okada. It wasn't open at the time that we were there, but I hear it's beautiful. So how is it and what is it? Well, first off, let's take a look at what was available. So Hann is a large casino. It's 1,000 slot machines and over 70 tables with roulette, sikbao, baccarat, It also has craps, poker, Texas Hold'em, blackjack. It has everything. Okay? No big deal. Well, so we went there, and I'm just going to get this across to you right now. We're going to start right now. It's not Vegas. It doesn't treat you like casinos in Vegas. It really and truly doesn't. One of the things that Vegas does is it does the best you can to keep you at the table. Well, I wouldn't say that the Philippines does that. All right, so here's I'm going to kind of divide this into two pieces here. The first one is what did we see? And the second one is going to be its financial piece. What did we see? Well, we were there, like I said, on a quote unquote slow day, midday. I would say it was about half, maybe a little bit more full. That being said, all right, there were over 100 Filipinos on the floor as employees. And you can rest assured there's going to be more employees that you don't see. Number two, drinks. In Vegas, if you're gambling at the table, all right, your drinks are free. Now, it's not going to be, you're not going to get high-end scotch for free, but you are going to get what we call in the bar, what in the bar business we call is run-of-the-mill vodka, rum, whatever, mixed with soda. Soda's free, water's free, coffee's free, all of those things. At Hann and at Resort World, that's not the case. In fact, at Hann, I will tell you, table service, getting them to come to the table and place an order with them for a drink or for water or for coffee is an ordeal. It really and truly is. I don't know why. Now, water and coffee is free, all right, but you have to go to a self-service area where they have bottled water and coffee that you pour, okay? Now, food. Well, the restaurants are great. There are. I mean, Hard Rock Cafe is down there, but their signature restaurants are delicious. That's just all there is to it. How much money is moving there? Okay. Well, it took a while. First off, I might also mention the crowd. How many people? I would say that the customers on the tables were pretty evenly split between foreigners and Filipinos. A lot of Filipinos. They must love to gamble. That's for sure. Arlyn likes to gamble. Arlyn plays baccarat and craps. I play craps. On the baccarat table, minimum bet is 1,000 pesos. It's like around $10. That's the minimum bet. On the floor, we're going to call it the floor. All right. Here's what else is different. At Hann, they have an entire area, an entire miniature casino area. I think it's called the H Club. Foreigners only. No Filipinos are allowed in there. And those tables, when I went in there, walked around, looked around, sat down, watched stuff for about 20, 30 minutes, all Koreans. Now, of the mix in the general floor, all right, not the foreigner only area, but the general floor, I would venture to say was 85% Korean or Asian, all right, and the other 15% was Caucasian. So, I ran into some really neat guys from San Diego, a group of Marines, 4 guys that were here for military exercises that are going on currently in the Philippines. Ran into a couple of expats. But all of that being said, minimum bet on the craps table, 250 pesos for a call bet, and 200 on the pass line. But the average bet, and that's going to be all the chips a player has on different bets on a craps table, if you understand how that works. All right. I would say was somewhere around 15 to 2,500 pesos. Okay. Watching how much money moves. I'm going to tell you right now, there are some high rollers. I mean, I'm seeing guys, predominantly Koreans. All right. And they're rolling around and they're doing 10, 20, 30,000 single bets. All right. Especially Baccarat. And Baccarat's one of those crazy, it's not a crazy, I just don't understand the game. It seems to me there's nothing but luck. I don't even think you get a choice. You get cards, the dealer gets cards, it falls within a certain area, you win, you lose. They make it look so dramatic, but it's just, to me, boring. Arlyn loves it. She says it's the drama. I said, how can there be drama, Arlyn? There's, you get 2 cards, you gently bend up and look at it and put it down, and then you flip them over. Why not just flip them over and move on? Because, well, you have to draw it out. It's the drama. That's what makes it fun. Okay, whatever. But either way, average bets. So minimum games with minimum bets. All of the poker that I saw was at 500 pesos a hand. So blackjack was 250 pesos a hand, I think. No, blackjack was 500 as well. Baccarat was 1,000. So I mean, but we're watching people laying down 20, 30, 50,000 pesos on blackjack, on Baccarat, on a one deal. I'm going to tell you right now, in my estimation, and this is purely an estimation, by being there at a slow day, being there at a slow time, there's tens of millions of pesos flowing through that floor on a daily basis. Now, how much of that's profit? How much of it's loss? Well, I can't think too much of it's loss because, quite frankly, casinos aren't in the business of losing, and these guys are sitting on expensive real estate. It's a beautiful facility. I mean, the facility itself, all of the chairs are nice. They're well appointed. They're well upholstered. They're clean. There's permanent cleaning people all over the place. Comps. Do they have comps? Well, yes, they do. Somebody said earlier that they don't do comps. Well, they do. I can tell you that at Resort World in Manila, comps are very common. I can tell you that you get comps at Hann. In fact, you can see, I would see Koreans who apparently were high rollers using what we call, or what I would call house chips. These are special chips, okay, that they gave you as a guest. I mean, and I'm looking at people with 50, 100,000 worth of house chips. So they're getting, I mean, you can't cash those in. They're only good for table play, but there's a lot going on. Rooms, meals, drinks, they comp all kinds of stuff. They have, if you're a member, right, which all you have to do is give them your email, get a player's card, you accumulate points. And as you accumulate points, they have giveaways every day during certain periods, all kinds of stuff, everything from small trinket stuff, all right, to big stuff. It was a busy day. To me, it wasn't a busy day, but it was a lot of action, a lot of money going around, a lot of games being played. We saw, I would say probably for us, I would say probably 60% of the tables were open with players. I would say 80% of the tables were open, but nobody was playing at them. I can tell you where I was playing craps, there are 2 craps tables where I was and the one beside me, and the table beside me was empty. It was open. People were there, the stick man, the caller, stuff like that. But everybody was on the table that I was on. Did we win or did we lose? I guarantee you, this video will not make nearly enough to cover what we lost. And that's why I just don't think you should gamble. It's a habit. I think it's bad. I think it's like throwing your money away. If you want to throw your money away, up to you, okay? But you're not going to get free soda. You're not going to get, you're going to be free water, free coffee, and that's if you go get it, or you tell the pit crew, hey, can you get a waiter over? They'll come over. You tell them, hey, can you get me this or this? And then they expect a little tip, obviously. Now, the water is bottled water. Coffee comes in a cup. But you're not going to get free alcohol at Hann. And I know that now we haven't been to Resort World in 5+ years. We haven't been to Resort World since pre-pandemic. And you weren't getting free alcohol then. And at City of Dreams, pre-pandemic, you weren't getting free alcohol there either. But what does this all come down to is how much money does come in? Well, and then secondarily to that, is it a tourism dollar or a local business? Because it's got all of these Filipinos are gambling. Their vast majority are not tourists, all right? But it is in the free zone. It is in Clark. Now, if you've been to other casinos here in the Philippines, in the comments below, let us know. Tell us what your experience there was like. Otherwise, if you've got questions about what we saw and what we think, please, in the comments below, also let us know. Otherwise, please do subscribe, hit that thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Have a great day.